You're listening to the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to make sure you get the latest episodes of the podcast. Be sure to like and share our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. On today's episode of the podcast, we summarise Day 3 of the 4th Ashes Test between Australia and England from the SCG. It's the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast, and let's get started. Let's have a look at the session-by-session breakdown of Day 3 of the 4th Ashes Test from the SCG. In the first session of play, saw rain delay the start of play, but once we got going, Hamid was the first wicket to fall for England. He was gone for 6, bowled Stark, then Crawley went for 18, bowled by Boland, and then Root for a duck, caught Smith, bowled Boland, and Malan was the last wicket to fall before lunch. He was gone for 3, caught Khawaja, bowled Green. England at lunch were 4 for 36. In the second session of play, saw Stokes and Bairstow bring up the 50 partnership for the 5th wicket, and Ben Stokes brought up his half-century, as England did not lose a single wicket in that second session of play. England at tea were 4 for 135. In the final session of the day's play, saw Johnny Bairstow bring up his half-century. Soon after that, Ben Stokes went for 66, LBW to Lyon, and Stokes and Bairstow added 128 runs for the 5th wicket partnership. Butler soon went for a duck, caught Khawaja, bowled Cummins, and Mark Wood was the last England batsman to be dismissed on Day 3 for 39, caught Lyon, bowled Cummins. He and Bairstow added 72 runs for the 7th wicket partnership. And just before the end of play, on Day 3, Johnny Bairstow brought up his century. England at stumps are 7 for 258. They trail by 158 runs, Bairstow 103 not out, and Leach 4 not out. What are my thoughts on the day? I thought it was a great day of cricket. It was an interesting day of cricket. A lot of things happened during Day 3 of this 4th Ashes Test from the SCG, but it was an interesting day's cricket. Let's talk about how it unfolded in a brief summary of the day's play. Let's start with Australia and how they went about things today. I think Australia would be very happy with their performance today on Day 3. They were able to get England 7 down for 258, still trailing by 158 runs. I thought Australia's bowling in the first session was outstanding. To create pressure on England, they were able to back it up with maidens, bowling back-to-back maidens. They bowled around about 8 or 9 maidens in a row, and they were able to take wickets from that because the scoring rate was being slowed. The pitch was very difficult to score runs on because it was an up-and-down pitch. Obviously, some balls were hitting batsmen on the gloves, some were shooting low, so very difficult for the England batsmen. And they were able to take 4 wickets in that first session and have England 4 down for 36 and on the back foot once again in this series. I thought they bowled well to create that pressure, Australia. So their bowling today, Australia, was pretty good. Obviously, the partnership between Stokes and Bairstow frustrated them. Obviously, they offered a bit of resistance and they were able to rebuild the England innings after they were 4 down for 36. And Australia got a bit frustrated. Obviously, the ball got a bit flatter and softer. Obviously, not as pungent as it was with the new ball in the first session. The ball wasn't really shooting up or shooting low with the inconsistent bounce at the SCG on this wicket. The ball got a bit softer and batting become a bit easier for Bairstow and Stokes in that partnership. So Australia were a bit frustrated there, but they were able to break that partnership. And also the partnership that Bairstow had with Wood, that also frustrated Australia as well. That partnership added 72 runs for the 7th wicket. And obviously Australia, if there's one criticism about their bowling today, is that they didn't quite get their lines and lengths right to Mark Wood. They weren't able to build pressure on the tail ender. And they were able to leak runs because of that. They weren't really relentless in their lines and lengths as they were in the first session at the start of the day's play. So they got it wrong to Mark Wood and the tactics as well, and they lost the plot there a little bit. So that's the one criticism that I have about Australia's bowling today, is that partnership between Bairstow and Wood that went for 72 runs for the 7th wicket. That could have been a lot less if they got the lines and lengths right to Mark Wood early. He made 39 off 41 balls, but you should have got him out for a lot less than 39. So that's the one criticism that I have on Australia's bowling today. But besides from that, and besides the partnership between Bairstow and Stokes, of 128 for the 5th wicket. Obviously, England showing a bit of fight and resistance with the bat for once in this Ashes series, and Australia being put under pressure because of that. I thought Australia did well to take 7 wickets and have England 7 down for 258, which has put Australia in a good position. They're still in a good position in this match. They have England 7 down for 258. They lead by 158 runs at the moment, Australia. So if they can take the last 3 wickets quickly tomorrow on day 4, get out there, build a lead, any lead over 250 runs up towards 300 would be very difficult to chase on this wicket here at the SCG, given the uneven bounce of this surface. So for Australia, they'll be very happy with their work today. A bit disappointed towards the end of the day, especially that partnership between Bairstow and Wood. They sort of lost the plot there. But everything else, the first session of the day's play was pretty good. So Australia will be very happy with their work today. For England, they'll be very happy about just showing some fight and resilience for once with the bat. I thought Bairstow and Stokes batted very well. Both of them suffering injuries. Obviously, Ben Stokes had injured side. Obviously, you could see every time that Ben Stokes played a shot, he was grabbing his side, he was in pain, he was grimacing. Bairstow had that knock on the thumb from Cummins on a delivery that just shoot up and hit his thumb. He batted through the pain and he scored a magnificent century. 103 he made. He's still out there at the moment for England, obviously overnight. But he batted well for his century. I thought he was aggressive. He was being aggressive. He was playing his shots, especially attacking the Australian bowlers, especially Nathan Lyon. He was hitting him for runs. And also Ben Stokes was playing with that aggressive mindset and a positive intent that we know with Ben Stokes. Obviously, it took a little bit for Ben Stokes to get into this Ashes series, but today we saw Ben Stokes at his best, and that's what he can do. Unfortunately for England, they couldn't do it earlier in the series. Better late than never, you have to say, with the bat. Also, Mark Wood showed a bit of fight with the bat as well for his 39, but Australia got it wrong to him with the tactics there. Didn't quite bowl good lines and lengths to him, and he was able to get 39 runs. But Johnny Bairstow, was his day today. The first century for England on this tour gave something to smile about for England. And Joe Root said we need to take something out of this Ashes series. And they certainly took something out of day 3 today. And that's Bairstow and Stokes' batting performance. And just showing that to the other England batsmen in particular, that if you show a bit of application, bit of fight, you can get through the tough periods and score runs. Unfortunately for England, they haven't been able to do that throughout this whole Ashes series. But I thought they batted well today. They showed a lot of fight, determination and grit with the bat. Unfortunately for England, it's come a bit too late when the series is gone. Better late than never, I suppose, and this will put them in good stead for the future, I suppose. But overall, I thought their batting was poor today, the top order failing once again. But I thought Stokes and Bairstow shone through, and especially Bairstow, with a magnificent century. What can we expect from both teams heading into day 4? Well, first of all, let's hope the rain stays away. First of all, that's what we can expect from day 4, is that the rain stays away. Rain's been forecast for the next 2 days, day 4 and 5 of this test match. We don't want the rain to spoil what is shaping up to be a very good test match. So hopefully the rain stays away and hopefully the weather plays ball. The last couple of days, we've had a few rain delays, but the rain has disappeared for the whole day and we were able to get a full day's play in. So let's hope we get a full day's play in on day 4. For Australia, what can we expect from them heading into day 4? Pretty much to get the last 3 wickets quickly and start batting to extend their lead in this test match and set a target for England to chase down in the second innings. That's pretty much Australia's plan. Wrap up the England innings quickly as possible, get the last 3 wickets quickly, and look to bat and set a difficult target for England in the second innings of this test match. For England, realistically, they can't really win this match. They're far behind in the game. But for England, it's just about trying to keep on fighting, show a bit of resilience and mental toughness with the bat, as they've done on day 3. Make it difficult for Australia to pick up the last 3 wickets. So that's the realistic thing for England in this match, is to keep fighting and show that fight and resilience, because their odds of winning the game are slim. They can certainly push for a draw, but it's going to be very hard work for them to do that as well. But they need the weather to help them as well. But for England, realistically on day 4, they just need to keep fighting and show that fight and resilience. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell to get the latest episodes of the podcast, and like and share our Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Until next time, keep safe, and bye for now.